This is a seat from a bentwood rocker, getting ready to put pressed cane in it. It's already been cleaned out. So the first thing I usually do is I'll put a bead of glue on the inside of the groove all the way around. It just helps hold the cane in while you're working on it. Once that's done, you take the pressed cane. There is a top and a bottom on the pressed cane. Put it on your frame, and you need to get it lined up square to the frame. With this one, there's holes in the side for bolts, so I usually just, so once they're there, you need to I usually pull off excess strands up to the groove in the cane. That allows the cane to go into the groove much easier. You can use a lot of different tools, but I usually just have a little metal wedge that I use to press the cane into the groove. A lot of books will tell you to put wedges in there to hold it into place, but I don't really need to. It stays in there by itself with that little bit of glue. So usually what I'll do is I'll start front and back, pulling off the excess cane. And you also kind of want to make sure it's square side to side. So, looks pretty good. You only need to do a couple inches on each side. Now this piece of cane is a little extra large, so I'll cut off excess on each side. And then we do the same thing. We pull off the excess strands that are on the outside of the groove. And we do the same thing. We press the cane in the middle. I usually work from the middle out to the corners. That keeps the cane flat. You don't get bubbles in it. Usually just go so far. That way you're keeping it taut and even in each one. Now this chair happens to have round corners in it, so when you have the round corners, I'll usually pull out the diagonal pieces up to the groove. That makes it easier to press the cane in. It's to bend in, and you can push the rest of it down. So that's all pushed in. Then I'll usually take a hammer and I'll just go around to make sure that it's tapped in all the way. So I finished tapping in the cane all the way around in the groove. The next step now is to cut off the excess cane before the spline, which holds the cane in, gets put in. And you have to cut it off on the outer edge. So I usually just use a chisel and I just tap and it cuts off the excess cane. You want it down below the edge of the wood so that when the spline goes in, you don't see all the ends of the cane sticking up. So I'd finished cutting the cane off all the way around, getting ready to put the spline in, which is a little on the wedge shape. That's what holds the cane in place. So now I need to put another bead of glue all the way around the frame. I do it on the inside of the groove and the outside of the groove. I make sure I have a square end on the end of the spline. I usually start in the center in the back, tap the spline in. I have a little rubber mallet. You can use a wooden, metal one too, but metal has a tendency to leave little black marks because everything's wet. After it's all tapped down, we just wash off the glue.